Dejon Harris did not practice. Brian Bauckham did not practice. Torrin Harris did not. TJ McDonald did not practice. Tyron Smith was limited. Matt Barkley was limited. Stanley Havili was limited. So had a couple more guys get banged up in the physical practice yesterday and some stuff today, and hopefully we'll have them all back, and we're going to need them all. This is obviously a great rivalry and one that records mean nothing in, and as we've seen before, and we know they're going to be ready to play and come out for a big event Saturday even. So we're going to have ourselves ready and play very well in all three phases of the game.
Matt said he felt a lot better today. Did he look a lot better to you?
Yeah, he does. He continues to look better every day. He's throwing the ball fine, and his movement's coming around, so I would anticipate him playing.
Any reaction to the NCAA ruling on Cam Newton? Are you aware of that? Or?
I didn't even see anything. He scored 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks, so not really into the other people's issues.
Well, do you know what's going on down there? Do you know what happened? Well, they basically reinstated his eligibility. And if I understand it correctly, they said his father did violate a rule, but he's still going to be eligible to play. Having coached in the SEC, does that surprise you?
Good try, Gary. I don't know all the details of it, so there's no way I could comment on it.
What about Bruce Pearl?
I like Bruce. Bruce sent me a text, and it's one of those things that if I was Bruce, I'd say the same thing. Obviously, Bruce is in some hot water and been in some trouble, and so what a better way to excite the Tennessee fans and start your pep talk with taking a shot at me. I'd do the same thing. It's called deflection.
What about UCLA impresses you the most, and heading into this game, or what's worries you the most?
Well, I think one thing is last week what their offense did and the way that they performed, especially throwing the ball after obviously having some issues throughout the year with the passing game. To come back down there versus a very good Arizona State team and do what they did says a lot about their players and their coaches. When some teams may have cashed it in, so we know they'll be ready to play. They're clicking on offense. They played some great games on defense earlier in the year, and we know that they'll always bring it in this rivalry.
I would think that their fans are not super happy with the state of the program over there. I thought they'd be maybe farther along at this point. Are you surprised that they haven't won more this deep into Neuheisel's regime over there?
Yeah, I am. I would have thought that they would have, with the coaching staff and their ability to recruit. But I think, this sport, you just can't plan everything out. They've had a lot of injuries. I don't know the numbers comparable around the conference, but I would think it's as much as anybody in the country. And so they've suffered a lot of tough injuries, especially with the quarterback position over the years, and that's always going to make it hard to keep it going. And I think when I look at the roster, you got a lot of young guys and a really bright future.
Are there any recruiting implications on the line with this game?
I think that's talked about a lot, and I think there is a little bit, maybe swaying guys at immediately after the game, but signing day is not right after the game, and so we've seen over these years that they've still beat us on kids, even though when we were winning, and the year that we lost to them, they still, we were still able to get some kids they wanted. So I think there are some, but it's probably not what everybody thinks it is.
Any closer to deciding on a starting tailback for this game?
Not really. Just still going through the motions of practice, and nobody has really stuck out, so we'll figure it out.
At what point do you send in those forms to the NFL seeking evaluations for the guys who could be draft eligible?
Yeah, we'll get on it immediately here after the last game, and we'll have plenty of time to do things like that. So that will be one, and obviously, the forefront of those two guys will be Tyron and Jarrell, and so it'll be interesting decisions, and they're going to have a lot to think about.
Is it a almost no-win situation when you're playing a 4-win team, in terms of if you win, people will say you should beat them, but if you lose, it's like a disaster in terms of the rivalry implications?
Such a Scott question.
I'm glad to hear that.
No, it's not a no-win. One team's going to win, one team's going to lose. In a rivalry like this, like I said, the records don't matter, and we've seen that happen before. They're going to be ready to play, and this would be a great win for us, and it would be a great win for them.
With the numbers crunch in the secondary, has any possibility that you'd blow a redshirt year for someone who's been sitting out all year, or you would not go that
No, we're here. We're not here for the immediate future. We're here for the long term, and I think you've seen that in our roster this year. We have some really good players that we redshirted this year, knowing that we have a long term plan of getting through this probation and the scholarship reductions. So the last thing we're going to do is that. We're just down people. When you look at our second team, there are people in our second team practicing today that are redshirting, but we wouldn't pull them out. There was that was a topic of conversation even when a guy like DJ Morgan got healthy, who may be a great player for us. But we're not going to do that.
The opposite seemed to be really rolling until the last couple of weeks. You said there were only 2 touchdowns you guys scored in the last couple of games. What does this team need to do to get back on track and score touchdowns?
Run the ball. We've had 0 running game in 2 weeks, and that's what you've seen. Even though we haven't thrown for any touchdown passes, it goes. And if we can't, in our system, we can't throw the ball 50 times. We've got to have some rhythm for our play action to work and what we do. And so when our run, after that Arizona game these last 2 weeks, when we haven't been able to run the ball, it's really affected everything.
Has it been more of a running back issue or an offensive line issue? Both?
I think just everything in general. Everyone's at fault. Starting with me. So we've got to do a better job. We've kind of tried everything. Oregon State we spread out a little more, and then last week we went back to more conventional run game and just weren't able to get anything going.
If Mitch played, would you have to be conservative again, or would you be able to do more?
I don't know. So you got to get a feel for the game when we're there, see the weather, see who's healthy on our offense, who's playing, and figure it out then.
Good.